My guests for this roundtable station: Rick Chemicki, Ray Tabbs, Haddish Alexander, Bob Cooey, Tom Baker, and Warren Wheatgrass. Before we get into the meat of the discussion involving playing in clubs, playing in concerts, and just playing in general, I'd like to turn to each of them in turn and get a mini biography, so to speak. Bill Shapkin, I'll tell the audience in advance that you played the trombone and the bass, and you can take it from there.
Okay, thank you, Ron. I'm with a group called What on Earth, and I write a lot of the music for that, and I guess we've been termed as being an avant-garde group in Milwaukee. However, I don't look at it like that at all. It seems like we're just trying to catch up with a lot of stuff that other people have done before us. Okay.
What kind of Penderecki and people of that nature? All right, I got you, John Cage. And Bach, all right. No, Parker. I don't really think anybody's going to catch up with Bach or Parker for that. How about musical background?
I'm a graduate of UWM, or whatever that's worth. And I'm teaching now in the Army Corps Public School System at the Conservatory.
Rick, no, unless there's more you want to give.
I think
we'll come back to Bill Shapkin a little bit later. Rick Chemicki, a little bit about you.
Okay, I was a classical player. I played in brass players, chamber ensembles, and I went to Berkeley College of Music in Boston for a while.
I didn't know that.
I didn't?
No, that's new to me. That's new to me.
I went there for a short while. My fun ran a little short.
Mm-hmm.
Just in case we try and get an education out of state. I've come back to Milwaukee, went to MATC for a while, and I've been studying privately with different people around here in Stanford, University, study with Tom Baker here. I'm basically in search of an education, wherever it may go, not necessarily going to a school, but pattern, but finding knowledge, adding that to school.
Now, so that the audience is not deceived, you are not only a student, but a professional player as well.
Yeah, I studied in Milwaukee Art Ensemble. 600 million Northern Rhine, San Antonio, Brian Lynch, all Armstead, 7 years. We were hockey on Matthew.
And how old are you?
I'm 23.
And I only ask Rick because I know that among the people gathered around this table today, Rick is by far the youngest.
Probably the youngest and most experienced. The experience is actually the school, and that's what I'm searching for next. So the school class.
I wonder if anybody around the table finds it odd that Rick is in fact a trumpet player and a flugelhornist, but the people whose names he mentioned, Nancy Ellis for one, are not trumpet players and are not flugelhornists, and those are the people that we're studying. Does anybody find that odd?
you did mention
Tom Baker, right?
Part of the problem is there are very few trumpet players around. Okay, one of the reasons I studied with Tom is because Tom is one of the finest lead trumpet players, show trumpet players, who knows about the instrument itself. And going to Nancy Ellis, Nancy's probably one of the finest jazz musicians around here. And Will Green was just a fine musician, but from a different approach. The fact that Will was blind, and his approach to music was more. He knew what he was doing. He knew what he was doing with the chordship and everything like that. There's no problem there. But it was more of a matter of he played what he felt, not what he knew. When I look for my teachers, I'm looking for people who can give me the education where I want to go, and not say this is what you should do, this is what you should do. That's one of the reasons I got into classical. I want to find my music.
From Rick Chemicki, the youngest around the table, we move the discussion to one of the oldest around the table, at least in terms of experience. I'm being kind. I'm being kind. And my good friend Ray Tabbs. Raymond, I'm sure everybody in the audience knows that Ray Tabbs plays the piano primarily, doubles organ, accordion. Accordion's a long way back. But you did begin as an accordion player, did you not?
Huh? Yeah, I did. Right.
What kind of musical background? What kind of education?
Kind of education? Hardly any. Maybe 2 years in an accordion school. That's about it.
Really? No piano lessons of any kind?
Not a feeling like that.
And no college, no conservatory training?
No high school, no nothing. I'm a dropout.
In more ways than one.
Thank you.
Raymond, where are you appearing at home?
Sheridan Mesa.
And how many nights a week?
6 and 2 afternoons.
2 afternoons, cocktail hour.
Right.
Raymond Tabs. We move now to a gentleman of some note in the Milwaukee jazz circles. His name is Harish Alexander. I know he's from St. Louis. He's been in the city a few years now. Hat, a little bit about your background, your acts, where you're appearing at the moment.
Well, I'm a graduate of Ludwig's Music College, St. Louis. Then I went out into the field of jazz, so-called jazz or whatever, where I met different saxophonists, like Gene Easton, one of the best. He's from St. Louis, too. In fact, one of the best saxophonists in the country today, I think. And there's Jimmy Forrest around St. Louis playing. And Ernie Wilkins.
Bob Terry.
Yes, Oliver Nelson. He was coming up around that time. And it's a great musical experience coming up.
You mentioned, to interrupt a moment, you mentioned the name of a gentleman that I have a feeling none of us around the table had ever heard of before. And you suggested he was one of the best saxophonists you had ever heard. I'm wondering if that's fairly common in all of your experiences, in that some of the very best musicians are not the people who have become household names. Eh?
I think there is. There's a lot of people that didn't live to get well known, although they were genius performers. You know, like Oscar Cuzner. I think he died, left here, went overseas, and he died over there. You know, very few people even heard him, but he was rated just as good as Oscar Peterson or better.
That sings him.
Yeah.
Anybody else?
Who was that saxophone player we were talking about?
Gene Easton. He's in Chicago
Gene
now.
Easton?
Yeah.
Did you also know Vic Colson from St. Louis? He was, I guess, the guy that Clark Berry thought very highly of, the trumpet player around St. Louis.
No, I didn't know
I
him.
was just curious.
Yeah, but I knew Miles Davis.
Yeah.
He was around. The thing is, was at that particular scene, there was a good setting, you know, to learn, you know, when you're around people. Like I said, and Charlie Parker was coming through there at the particular time. In fact, when he got to St. Louis, he didn't want to leave, you know. So he spent considerable time there. Got a chance to hear him quite a few times. You know, so there was always something to look forward to, you know, musically. Because I came here first time I came here. It was in 1958. I came here with the organ quartet that I was playing with Tommy Dean. We was playing on 3rd and Walnut at the particular time. We had little Esther down there singing with us, and Betty Carter, and Lula Reed, and people like this. Even Stephen Fetzer appeared down there a couple of times, you know. And that's how I first arrived here. And, when it ended up, I happened to remain here because the band that I was playing with, Tommy Dean, as I mentioned before, he bought half interest in the club, so kind of came here permanently. And then my wife was working at Rollins Manufacturing Company in St. Louis, and I guess she figured I never was coming home. So she came here and got a job.
Was it not a baseball club?
Yeah, they make the
Yeah.
baseball equipment.
Could you
know.
get me a good...
I can't get you anything. It's been so long. You know.
I wanted a Bill Cavaretta.
When she was working there, she used to come home with footballs and stuff like this, you know.
That was with at Jimmy Rancho's Club? Was it?
Yeah, yeah.
The funny thing about that is when I moved into my house, I went to the beer depot.
Yeah.
That's one that's wanted to do.
Yeah, right.
And I never knew him before then, but
Yeah.
we got to know each other and talked a lot. And he was telling me about when he had the club down there. I remember it was right on the corner.
Yeah. You know, it need to be more club owners like that.
He's really...
There wouldn't be anybody in there, in the club, you know, and he's spending all his money, you know what I mean, and some weeks would be just dead, you know, nothing, no people. And he's standing in the middle of the door where the band was playing. He'd get the biggest enjoyment out of that band when nobody was in there. He'd stand right there the whole night and listen to that band, you know. Mm-hmm. And you'd feel like you'd have an audience, because he'd be thrilled so much by hearing the music, you know, and that's when we really played. Cats come in and played, you know, and he'd stand in the middle of the door and he'd be losing all that money, but it wouldn't matter, you know.
He was getting all that music.
Yeah, he enjoyed music, you know.
Now, you did not stay in Milwaukee that first time.
No, I left here, I was around here, I guess, around 3 years. And then the band leader, Tommy Dean, that I was playing with, he died of a heart attack there in St. Louis. So I was here at the time working with Frank Velasquez down at the Holiday House downtown. And,
remember hearing Lenny Bruce down there.
Yeah, and I worked with Frank Velasquez for about 6 months down there. And then I left here, this is in 1962, and I went to New York. I stayed up in New York for about 6 months. My wife was here working. While I was in New York, Blue Note Records had contacted me. Grant Green had recommended me to Blue Note Records after he found out I was up there, you know. So after Lion Wolf, they was busy running around trying to get a chance to hear me, you know. And cats in New York at that time, you know, if they knew you could play, they try to inconvenience you, you know, because, you know, they tell you to come down and play, and when you go down to the club and play like Count Basie or somewhere, you get there and you take your instrument out, you know, because you've been invited. Every time you start near the bandstand, the cats say, wait a minute, man, I'll call you up.
Yeah.
And they wouldn't let you play if you could play. If you couldn't play, you know, come on up.
That's like
it just keeps you frustrated all the time. You know, one night, Freddie Hubbard and this baritone player, his last name was Baker, and Herbie Hancock, and there's a few other guys, I forget, they had a clique up there, you know, as far as the jam sessions are concerned, you know. They take over the jam sessions. And I see Freddie Hubbard, I was staying with Edgar Bateman, the drummer up there. So Freddie come out there every day, you know. And he'd invite me to their sessions, you know. I said, no, Booker Urban had warned me, you know, because he had been up there for about 3 or 4 years, and they're going to let this cat go and know, you know. So they invite me to, I see Freddie Hubbard say, hey, man, we got a session tonight, man, you know, real slick, you know. Right across the hall there, man. I said, when you get off the gig, you know, I was working in New Jersey, so I said, you're going to let you work in New York, you know, on a transfer card. So you either starve to death or go somewhere else and work, you know, because when I first got up there, Oliver Nelson, he lined me up a good job, you know, with a 10-piece band, you know, playing beauty contests and stuff like this. And he lined me up, and in the meantime, they're up to the union trying to get it ironed out where I could play regularly, you know. You take care of it, man, you know, so the first week I worked with this band, the tenor player, that was the other tenor player that was working. You know, the cat was getting ready to fire him, you know, so he did get fired, so he turned me into the union. You know? So the union called me and told me that I couldn't work instead of job. You know, in order to work up there, you had to work with a different band every week. You know, you couldn't work successively with anybody. So I left and go and went over to New Jersey, got me a job over there playing, you know, 4 nights a week. Edgar Bateman and myself and some more people. So I was studying, you know, about blue note records, you know, trying to get a chance to hear them. So I landed up, I guess, place to play down at Count Basie's. I thought I had landed up, and Steve Pulliam was working on the trombones. You know. He used to be with David Gillespie. He's working down there, you know, playing just the trombone and rhythm section. So he had welcomed me down there. I could go down there and play anytime I got ready, you know. So I said, hey, this is a good place for Alpha Line Wolf for here. I called up Alpha Line Wolf, you know, record. And I told him I thought I had a place that they could come and give me. I told him Count Basie. He said, you sure? I said, yeah. So I landed up for that night, and I called Steve Pulliam to make sure he'd let me play, you know. Sure, man, who's coming? I said, Alpha Line Wolf. Oh, man, I've been trying to get them now. How'd you get them down? I said, I don't know, man. They just wanted to come down. So he said, sure. What time you be down there? 9 o'clock, you know. I got down to Count Basie's. I got on the car, and there's Alpha Line Wolf standing up there. I couldn't believe it myself, you know. So they, you had us, yeah. Come on, went in Count Basie's, and I introduced him to Steve Pulliam and everything. And Steve Pulliam said, yeah, man, we're getting ready to play something, man. He said, after we get started, we'll call you up. Sit there one set. I didn't call. I get frustrated. He comes on. I say, hey, man, when you gonna let me play, you know? Steve Pulliam, I'll call you up, man. So I sit down back on the table. I'm getting hotter by the minute, you know. Alpha Line Wolf, they say, hey, man, they're not gonna let you play. So you gotta figure out somewhere else, you know, where we can hear you, you know. So I went back and I told Edgar Bateman about it, you know. Hey, man, so all we need is a piano. He was living in this loft, you know. So we knew that somebody had a piano and we had to move it, so we got one of those trailers, you know. And this loft is way up, about 3 stories, you know, straight up in the air. You know. So we got some cats to help us, you know. We pushed the piano all the way up there. I don't know how we got it, but we did get it up there without it falling on us, you know. And then we set the piano up and we got the cats to play, different cats that came out, you know. And had an argument. There was 2 drummers staying up in that loft. There was Ray Appleton out of Indianapolis. He was staying up there, and Edgar Bateman had been up there in Houston, St. Louis, you know. And he was in charge of the loft, you know. So Ray Appleton played a lot of drums, you know, so he's staying up in there. And so his little feelings about the thing, Edgar didn't want Ray to practice. You know, every time Ray Appleton, he's a little timid one, you know, get on his drums and start practicing. Edgar was saying like, hey man, you stealing my stuff. Start an argument with him, you know. To keep Ray from playing, so little Ray couldn't play. So I saw this going on, and I told him about Alpha Line, and it was coming. Alpha Line Wolf was coming up there. And Edgar wouldn't go anyway. He's been cutting out every day, you know. And so I said I was going to get Ray to play drums, you know. He didn't like it, but he said, I was all right. See, Edgar was working with Randy Turpin, playing concerts, you know. So I said, Ray was not doing anything. I'll just get him to play drums, you know. And Edgar said, okay, he agreed with it, but when he saw Alpha Line Wolf come up there, he wanted to take the drums away from Ray. I said, no, man. So Edgar, he gets salty and he leaves, you know. So they got a chance to hear us play. We was playing, and liked the way the thing went down. He told me that he was going to line up some dates, recording dates and stuff. And after Rand said, hey, you're the best saxophone player I heard since Charlie Parker. He said, well, yeah, Charlie Parker. I said, yeah. Yeah, I said, hey, this thing is perfect, you know. So we'll get in touch with you, and we're going to line up some dates and stuff like that. In the meantime, I had went down to Netton. Netton's, Playhouse. That's where, Shirley Scott and Stanley Turlington were working down there. So I went down there, went past the bandstand, and Stanley was standing up there blowing. He looks down there and he saw me, and, you know, I feel like that. Well, he stopped playing, you know. So he comes, he called intermission right quick, comes down there, I sit down in the booth. Man, what you doing up here? I said, hey, I've been up here a couple of weeks now, man. What you, I mean, man, you shouldn't be up here. You're too nice a cat to be up here. I'm looking at this cat, you know. So I didn't think anything of it, you know. So I don't hear anything from Albert Ryan Wolf, you know. Then eventually, I guess after a week, they called me up. They said, Haddish, can I talk to you? I said, yeah. They come down to the loft where I was living, and they come in there, I could tell the look on their face, something was wrong. And they said, hey, Haddish, we have to change what we had planned, you know. That you're not too well known, so you can't put your name out there on the album, you know. We know you qualified, you know, for everything, but we just can't do it. I said, why, man? Well, Stanley turned to me and Lou Bounce, and he said they had enough saxophone players. They didn't want you on the label. But this is what we're going to do. He said, Jimmy McGriff, you're getting ready to make an album. We want you to make the album with Jimmy McGriff. And at that particular time, I haven't even heard of Jimmy McGriff. I don't know nothing about this cat. All I figured, I said, another jive organ player. You know, and I told him, no, you know. Hey, man, you don't accept it like that, you know. This is where you're going to work here. And I said, no, what we talked about at first, that's what I agreed to, and that's what I will do, you know. And nothing else. And so they got up, they was out there, and I wouldn't make the album with Jimmy McGriff. So they said, hey, man, don't leave New York. I said, I think I'm leaving here. And I was just angry, you know. So I said, man, I wish you'd stay around here. I told them, I don't know. So when they left, I went and got my car. The car had coal dust on it, you know. Too expensive to drive a car in New York, so I forgot I even had a car. So I thought about it. I said, I got to get back to Milwaukee. So
You don't want to miss winter.
Right? Yeah, right. I had to get a part of the winter, you know, so I went out there.
Plus, you know, I don't know if anybody remembers, but his wife was here.
Right.
They left her in St. Louis.
She had been here, yeah.
You had a catcher's mitt all the way through.
She came to Milwaukee to be with him, remember?
Sending her letters to whom and making.
That's right. I remember the car wouldn't even start. I had to call the guy to boost it so I get it started, and then I went to one of those wash racks and got the coal dust washed off. That's how dirty New York is, the way we was
When you
staying.
did that in New York, that must have cost a year's salary.
Oh, man. Sure, you know. So I don't know. I didn't quite have enough money to do all that. And I got him to change the oil too, so that almost broke me, other than the gas money. I think I had about 40 cents when I got back here to Milwaukee, you know.
Then to pay off the extortioners to protect your car.
Oh, man.
So you've been back here in the city ever
Yeah.
since then. That was what, 63?
I was
64?
60, the last of 62 I came back.
When he came back.
Yeah.
And Haddish has been a prominent musician in the Milwaukee area ever since, currently appearing at the Jazz Gallery 3 nights a week,
Right.
Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday,
That's right.
in John Hawk's Club Monday night.
Right.
The next gentleman in the panel is Bob Cooey, who represents Local 8, right?
Correct.
Which is the musicians union in Milwaukee. We wanted Bob here with us today because essentially this...
Wanted me to check cards, right?
That's right. Essentially, this discussion concerns musicians, how, when, why, should they work, so on and so forth. And I didn't feel the discussion could be complete without a member of the local here in the city. Bob, from your standpoint, how is the playing situation in the city of Milwaukee? First of all, a question that I think a lot of people in the audience might be curious about. What's the average salary of a Milwaukee musician? How much money can a Milwaukee musician make? What scale, for instance? What's the minimum?
Represent a great deal of diversity in the type of music which would have an influence on it. You got everything from the symphony. The symphony, of course, is the only entity that we have as a full-time organization that we have a master contract with. Jazz musicians, scale runs about $32 for about a 4-hour gig, and I don't think most of these guys work for scale. Not the one sitting here, anyway. They may be or another for 18 years.
Right, so then you can give me an opinion. Yeah. Is the club situation better, worse, the same?
It's worse. It's worse now, and I think primarily it's due to a transition. I think the whole music scene is going through a whole readjustment again. Like it does periodically, you can almost highlight the various times that some influences changed the music scene. I suppose really what I'm talking about is the commercial aspect of music, not so much jazz. Jazz is less prone, I think, to those influences. Like for when we had their hard rock era, all of a sudden we had groups coming along, like A&M Records released artists that, put a whole new trend in the music scene, changed the scene around. Blood, Sweat, and Tears, which caused rock to become jazz rock, made the transition to the jazz, sort of a commercial jazz, and Chicago, that sort of thing. And I think right now we're going through that type of transition again, and I don't think anybody really knows where it's going. I think that's a good thing. I believe that if the music business can dictate the taste to the audience, we're in trouble. And I think that I've always been happy to find that although they have attempted to influence the audience heavily, that they really can't do it. The audience has to sink into it by osmosis into it. All of a sudden something comes along that makes it gel, and there's a new trend in sound.
We're immersed at the moment in the disco craze, or perhaps, according to some, we are on our way out of the disco craze. There are some who feel that that's probably true. And the disco craze, I suppose, is okay if that's what you want to do, but it does rob musicians of their livelihood because it removes the live musician from the club premises and installs a disc jockey and some records.
Correct. And
it's taking bread out of the cat's mouth, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, my response to that is that the disco scene was really caused by the economy. Going back to 70, 71 when the economy started to turn for the worse. And it became a problem, especially in a highly competitive city where there are a lot of clubs. It became a problem of hiring musicians. And this was an economic move on their part. The new influence on it, of course, is the craze for the disco dancing, which has been commercialized upon by dance studios